with the Champions League hotting up, we now move into game week 5 of the Champions League. Yes, guys, with game week number 5, with game week 4 and game week 4 hotting up with some monster scores in there, with the likes of some really surprising upsets. We find out what happens in game week number 5 in one short moment.
Boys, if you want a discount on your energy, go and get my discount in the description. New Dan 10 at checkout. Peace.
And we're going to start off in Amsterdam for Ajax Amsterdam versus Benfica. Now, Ajax Amsterdam played against Galatasaray and got Victor Osimhen. 3 goals from Victor Osimhen put Galatasaray in complete, sunk Ajax's hopes. To be fair, Ajax in the table are literally sitting at the bottom. 13 goals conceded against them, which is not what you want. 4 games, 4 defeats. Them and Benfica are right at the bottom of the league. So basically, this game, whoever wins this game will be off the mark. What do you mean, to be fair? It can't end a draw and it can't end a defeat. So, one team will defeat. So, both teams cannot win. So, in this game, and Benfica lost, obviously, to Benfica. They lost to Bayern Leverkusen. And in this game, I'm going to say it could be a 1-1 draw. We're staying with the 545s, and we're going from Istanbul to Turkey to Galatasaray versus Union St. Gilles. Now, Galatasaray, like I mentioned, had Victor Osimhen to thank for their 3-0 win. But the Union St. Gilles did lose to Atletico de Madrid in the last game, but you know that Galatasaray make that place. They make the Galatasaray Stadium an absolute fortress. I'm gonna say no. They make that place a fortress. They always do. They always will. They make Rams Park an absolute fortress. Sometimes they can do, and I'm gonna say it's gonna be a 2-1 win to Galatasaray. Now you move to the game starting off at 8 PM with Bodo Glimt versus Juventus. Now, Juventus played in the last game against Sporting Cluj of Portugal and had a 1-1 draw. Goal from Dusan Vlahovic sealed that, basically got them ahead, and then a late goal from Araujo got them back, got Sporting on top. But however, they're playing against a Bodo Glimt team who lost to AS Monaco, but did have a man also sent off as well in that game. And I do think that this game could be a 3-1 victory to Juventus in this game. We now head to Borussia Dortmund versus Villarreal at St. Junior Park. This could be one of these games where Borussia Dortmund go mad. They lost 4-1 to Man City, but they are playing Man City, to be fair. And they're playing against a Villarreal team who also lost, I'm pretty sure. Yes, who lost to Passo. Passo beat Borussia Dortmund, beat the Villarreal. But I think in this game, it could be Dortmund on home turf with their young team will win this game by 2-0. And we now head to probably the most interesting game of the entire weekend. It's at Stamford Bridge. It is between Chelsea and FC Barcelona. Yes, it is Chelsea against Barca. Chelsea drew 2-2 away in Carabao. We have to rely on Alejandro Garnacho. That is Carabao's first. Well, we'll get one on the Carabao in a moment. But both teams drew. Barca drew, and so did Chelsea. But I think this game could be. I mean, Barcelona have so much more quality than Chelsea. You've got the likes of Lewandowski, Rashford. No, well, maybe at this point, yes, in his career. You've got a lot of good players at Barca, and I'm going to go with a Barca win of 2-1 to Barcelona. Staying in England and going from London to Manchester for Manchester City versus Bayer Leverkusen. Now, Man City put 4 past Dortmund, and Leverkusen put 1 past Monaco. But I think that we know that Man City have quality and they have depth. They have literally just lost in the Premier League to also Champions League Newcastle. I mean, anything is possible right now in the Champions League, but I'm going to go with a 3-1 win to Man City, staying with English teams, and we head to France for that occasion. It is Marseille versus Newcastle. Now, Newcastle have been my surprise package. You thought, oh yeah, we're going to get smashed by Atletico Club Bilbao. No, they beat Atletico Club Bilbao by 2-0. That attack, Newcastle are on a crazy one in Champions League right now. And they're playing against a Marseille team who played against Atalanta and lost in the last moment of the game. And I think that Newcastle will get rid of them. They're looking very good right now. They had a cheeky start to the year and season, but I think they'll win it by 2-0. And we're now staying, and we now head back, and we now go to France to Naples for Napoli versus FK Karabakh. Now, Karabakh, as we know, could be to be fair, Karabakh did hell their own against Chelsea. That is their first point against an English opponent. And I'm going to say Napoli to win it 2-0 in this game. We now go to the last game on the Tuesday, and we head to Prague for Slavia Prague versus Atletico Bilbao. And again, this game could be an either war. It'll be a tight contest. Both teams are evenly matched in the competition, and I'm going to say it's going to be a 1-1 draw. That is all of Tuesday's games done. We now take over and go to Wednesday. I'll be starting off in Denmark, in Copenhagen, for Copenhagen versus Karabakh. Now, Copenhagen did lose to Tottenham Hotspur by 4-0 despite Spurs having a man sent off. And Kairad lost to Internazionale Milano. I mean, to be fair, they're playing Inter bloody Milan. And I think that it will go one way here. Copenhagen to win it by 2-1. And we're staying at 5:45. And we go from Copenhagen to Cyprus for Passo versus AS Monaco. Now, both these teams, Passo have been my surprise package this season. They got a win against Villarreal in the second half and survived, so well done them. To be fair, they have been my surprise package, I bet. All year they've been my surprise package. They're like the Sunderland of the Premier League. Against a Monaco team who look very good. I'm going to go in this game with a Monaco win. Monaco win by 2-1. We head to London and we head to the Emirates for Arsenal versus Bayern München. Now, what can we say about these two teams? These two teams sit first and second unbeaten. There's only 3 teams unbeaten in Champions League. Munich, Barca, Munich, Arsenal, Inter. To be fair, Arsenal are trouncing the league. To be fair, Arsenal are trouncing both this and Premier League. Right, they're having a really good year, Arsenal, this season. I think it's against a Bayern Munich team who had to come from behind against Freiburg earlier today. That's what I'm filming this. I think they'll beat. I think it'll be a very, very close one. Will Harry Kane provide Bayern a win? I think he will. 2-1 Bayern Munich, and they will keep their 100% record. And we go to the third team with 100% record. We head from Arsenal to Madrid and to Athletic Club, to Atletico de Madrid versus Internazionale Milano. Now, again, like I mentioned, both these Inter are unbeaten in the Champions League, and I mean they're flying in this. They're flying in La Liga inside the Iron, and Atletico de Madrid could be an interesting side to play against. And I am gonna say in this game it will be a 1-1 draw with Simeone, and I want to say Inzaghi. No, Christopher Xavier and Diego Simeone will cancel each other out in Spain. We head from Spain to Germany and to Frankfurt for Eintracht Frankfurt versus Atalanta. Now, this game, I could see it being an interesting game if you're an Atalanta supporter. I'm going to go with Atalanta win, yes, by 2-1. But I'm going to go flowing in this game, and we head back to England for the last time and to Merseyside for Liverpool. This is PSV Eindhoven. Now, Liverpool have just lost again in the Premier League, making that 6 out of 7. Yes, 6 out of 7 games they've lost. The only win, was against Frankfurt in this competition. And I'm going to say Liverpool will need to respond if they want to have anything in the Champions League. 2-0 win to Liverpool. We head to Turkey and to Olympiacos versus Real Madrid. Now, Real have not found it easy this year in the competition. They sit 7th in the competition, 3 wins, 1 defeat, coming in their last match day, which was against Liverpool. Liverpool have beaten Real last time out, but will they respond to this setback? Well, I think they will. They'll win it by 3-1. Now we go to France and to the defending champions in Paris Saint-Germain versus Tottenham Hotspur. Now, this is going to be Thomas Frank's biggest test against world-class opposition. PSG but PSG did lose their last game though to Bayern München. they're not out the woods. Neither were Spurs, to be fair, but Spurs did put 4 past Copenhagen, and I'm going to go in this game with a 2-1 Paris Saint-Germain win, and we go to the last game of the Champions League, which is in Portugal, for Sporting Clube de Portugal versus Club Brugge. Again, I think it will be a comfortable win for Sporting Clube de Portugal by 2-0, and that will bring the Champions League to an end. Thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you lot in the next one, which will be on Wednesday, I hope, for the Europa League. But until then, I will leave you with the Champions League, who will have their 100% record still intact. Will it be on a Barca? Will it be on a Bayern, Arsenal, or Inter Milan? Find that out and a lot more in game week number 6. But until then, I'll leave you with game week number 5.